So Alice from the new hit mobile game from Hoyoverse, Zenless Zone Zero, has gotten a lot of changes to her kit. I want to give a shout out to Efio from the subreddit Zenless Zone Zero Leaks for posting a TLDR kind of. So the stuff that got removed from Alice's kit is she's no longer crit based. So you're going to be building her with anomaly proficiency or anomaly mastery instead. She is basically similar to Jane Doe. She no longer needs to trigger assault in order to get an effect. Her sword key gauge has been replaced with a different gauge called the sword etiquette gauge instead. With her core skill, she had a defense shred with her core skill, but it has been moved to M1. So if you want to shred a defense, you have to pull for her M1. It's no longer part of her core kit. And instead of getting crit rate for her stat gain, she now gets anomaly mastery instead. As I stated earlier in the video, instead of building her with crit rate, crit damage, you just need anomaly proficiency and anomaly mastery instead. Her sword etiquette mechanic is pretty similar to Evelyn's gauge mechanic. And when Alice or any other character triggers an assault, she basically gains this thing called the sword etiquette. You're going to be holding Alice's basic attack in order to consume the etiquette gauge, and she'll gain this thing called the Stardust. Stardust is going to be pretty similar to Vivian's mechanic. Whenever Alice or any other character triggers a disorder effect, it's going to consume one Stardust to trigger an attack called the Polar Assault. This will overwrite any current anomaly on the enemy, and when enemies are afflicted with the flinch effect, which basically happens when they get assaulted, Alice will add a damage over time to the enemy. Also, whenever Alice triggers an assault, she's going to increase her anomaly buildup rate by 25% for 20 seconds. The W engine for Alice has also changed. It has an attack main stat at 30%, and the substat is now anomaly mastery. I think it was crit rate instead, or maybe crit damage. Passive is whenever the wearer triggers an assault, the anomaly proficiency will be increased by plus 15 for 20 seconds. Stacking twice, gain 2 stack on entering the battle. Alice did get a pretty big change with her kit. If you did pre-farm for a crit rate, crit damage build, you might as well just go back to the mines again, because now she needs anomaly proficiency and anomaly mastery instead. Thankfully, I didn't really pre-farm her stats. I still got to pre-farm like other stuff like skill levels and Denny's and ascension materials. It kind of really sucks that her defense shred is no longer part of her core skill. You have to roll for M1 in order to get to the defense shred, which really sucks really hard. They really want you to pull dupes for this character. Other than Alice's build, she hasn't really changed that much. She still needs to be on the field as much as possible. I don't think she's going to work with characters like Jane or Miyabi, since both of those characters also need to be on the field majority of the time. Alice is still going to be on the field a lot, but just her build is no longer centered around crit rate, crit damage. You just need anomaly mastery and anomaly proficiency. On the bright side to this change, she might not be as difficult to build, since getting crit rate and crit damage can be the pain in the butt. So maybe Hoyoverse changed Alice from crit rate, crit damage to EM AP to maybe ease the relief of building Alice, but who can really know what goes on the heads of Hoyoverse? Now, Alice is the only character that got changed. Yuzuha also got changed, but her change isn't as big as Alice's. For one thing, her candy fright mechanic, the duration of it is no longer 30 seconds, it's now 40 seconds, so it's now much longer. From what I can remember of her candy fright mechanic, whenever the enemy gets afflicted with this, I do believe they take more damage. Forgive me if I'm wrong, I'm playing like a lot of gacha games, so of course a lot of my information can be mixed up and stuff, but the candy fright mechanic is a pretty important mechanic of Yuzuha, so that's a pretty good duration. The attack requirement for Yuzuha went down. It was originally at 3400, now it's 3000 instead. Not much of a TCR, but I guess that's pretty cool. You know, you no longer have to get the 3400, you could just settle with the 3000 instead. I think those are the most important things about Yuzuha's change. Not really much changed for Yuzuha. Also keep in mind, since these are all, you know, leaks, obviously, I probably should have said this in the beginning of the video, but because these are leaks, a lot of things are subject to change, of course, next week or maybe not just next week, but you know, a few days from now, a lot of this could get changed again. For all we know, they could revert Alice back to crit rate, crit damage, but who really knows? Now, if you haven't been keeping up to date with these leaks, the next patch does look pretty spicy. We're getting more skins. I know the MCs are getting swimsuit skins. Yuzuha and Alice are also getting swimsuit skins. They also look pretty fucking good, if I do say so myself. I'm actually surprised that Hoyoverse is pumping out more skins. Not only are they pumping out more skins, but these skins actually do look pretty good. I might actually buy them myself, maybe. There will be most likely mods that make them a little thicker. I'm honestly pretty excited for the next patch, you know, just because of the swimsuits, basically. That's basically it about this video. Let me know what you guys think. Do you like this change? Do you not like this change? And I will see you guys later.
Bye bye now. Come again soon.